Hello my friends and welcome to the Vigilantes campaign. I have had to disable the music, which is actually quite good because of gremlins in the YouTube copyright system. Unfortunately, no slight on the game or anything. I actually spoke to the developer on this subject and he did actually license the music, but the people that he licensed the music from have not released their control of the music on YouTube, which means that every video is a fight to get copyright claims released before you can post it. So to save myself the pain, we're not having the music. But I don't blame the game for that. It's not the game's fault. It's not the developer's fault. And this game is one that I've really been looking forward to because it promises to be... Let's go, hero difficulty. It promises to be a game that is, you know, for gamers. That's by a gamer for gamers. In that it's not, you know, as we dump into the stats screen here, you know, with nothing explained at all, but all of us gamers are intimately familiar with stat screens just like this, and thinking about them and thinking to ourselves what the best characters might be. And there are some, you know, there is a close combat build pre-design and there is a firearms build pre-design, so you can just drop into the game as a new person on easy difficulty, no problem. But most of us will be familiar with a game that doesn't hold our hand, but doesn't need to because we've played sort of similar games before. Well, this makes me think back on my Unity of Command first impressions, where really critical features are kind of hidden behind the complexity, such that if you just play it based on previous knowledge, the wheels will come off. You actually have to study the game before you play it. And so there is a fine line between needing a tutorial and not needing a tutorial, but this is the kind of game that I usually really appreciate, which is one that is familiar and intuitive. Nothing's really hidden away. Everything is pretty self-explanatory. You can hover over things and, you know, the explanations make sense straight away. And I've always liked the Fallout style system of core stats and skills. I don't know if Fallout did it first. I'm pretty sure that Fallout did it first, but I'm not 100% certain on that. But that's the first time I saw this kind of system was in a Fallout game. And so the most important part is, how do you build your character at the start? Now, in this game, you do get stats over time. You get a skill point every 3 levels, I believe. So, you're not locked in with your initial build. Now, as is with most of these kind of games, I have experimented a little bit myself, and typically, fleetness, or in Fallout it would be agility, which affects AP and armor class, is where I'm going to just dump all my points, because it offers something which the other stats don't offer, and that is... So there's 2 aspects to what I've done here. One aspect is that having a high stat unlocks perks, you know, really nice perks. This is true in Fallout as well. Having a very high stat unlocks the best perks, which means that early on you can choose from some really nice perks without actually having to... you don't have to waste perk points on bad perks early. Well, you technically don't have to in Fallout either. You can actually choose to not take a perk and wait until you've leveled up a bit to then take a higher level perk. But generally speaking, perks are stat locked. So there's that aspect of it. But the other aspect, the more important aspect, is that it offers attack and defense in the same stat, as well as EXP growth. This is sort of an issue with Fallout systems as well, in that having more AP means more actions means more attacking, and more actions also means more experience, because experience is based on hits and interactions, not kills. So that means that more actions also means more experience, which means your character grows faster and becomes more powerful faster. Now, that would make you a fragile glass cannon, but agility also seems to, in most of these games, affect armor class or evasion, which is a defensive stat. So what you're getting is you're getting attack and defense in one stat, which is usually incredibly powerful, rather than, for example, splitting between, say, toughness and prowess. Yup, prowess is definitely going to give you improved attack damage, and toughness is definitely going to give you extra hit points to defend with. But since you're investing in two things separately, it's very rare that you end up with more attack and defense by building like that than if you'd have just taken a stat like agility that gives you both. So anyway, that's my theory. The other thing I would say is that early on in the game, it seems to me like close combat is much easier to use than firearms, because firearms don't have enough range. The handguns don't have enough range to actually be ranged weapons, which I guess, in my opinion, is one flaw with the game. So,
It began as a no rabbit holes in sight Saturday afternoon.
you guys have seen my first impressions video, then you'll have seen
for a skiing trip I'd never get to take.
this
An
this
unfamiliar
intro.
cut through the quiet
You'll
side
have
of
seen it.
town to slip the bustle.
So I'm just going to skip this one because we've seen it before. If you watch my first impressions video, you'll have seen that intro anyway. So I'll only watch the ones that we haven't seen. So we'll skip the early ones. Hey, we demoralized them, sweet. Combat begins. Oh, there are loads of graphical options for this game. Let's turn the camera filter off. I don't think that looks that good, actually. Let's kill the fog as well. I'm allergic to fog in games. Fog is usually used to help computers that aren't very good to process the game by obscuring detail. Yeah, that looks a lot better. %47 chance to hit. So yeah, he's not obviously very good with firearms.
Got it.
Just make them run. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Interestingly, you can get a attack bonus by putting killer mode on. There doesn't seem to be much of a penalty for doing this either. Okay, I wounded his
Got it.
ass. Man, I'm missing a lot of hits here. I think these guys will get a zone of control attack on me now if I move, so... Wow, I have missed so many high probability hits. Or I should say reasonable probability hits. So there is definitely improvements to be made in this game, but I'm still very much looking forward to playing it and exploring it. One thing is that you can have various status effects on yourself, but it's actually hard to see them at times, or status effects on enemies. Like this guy has got the demoralized status effect, but I seem to be unable to click on him or interact with him in such a way that I can see what that effect does. I mean, I can see it's there. I just can't see what it's doing to him. The environmental factors button doesn't show me that status effect on him. Oops, I'm on Haymaker here. Oh! We could lose the tutorial battle at this rate. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Eat this. I see I inflicted some status effect on him as well, but I can't tell what it is. I'm not sure whether you're tough or clever or lucky or stupid, but either way I owe you one. The name's Doc. To be fair, I mean, being a vet is actually potentially more difficult than being a doctor, since you have so many different anatomies to remember. Give me all that loot, give me all that loot. Oh, great. I missed one of the loots already, that's no good.
Shit. Shit. Can't feel anything.
Okay, I've
Tell
seen
me
this
it
one
ain't bad,
before.
Doc.
Tell me it ain't bad, Doc. It's bad. You got a serious case of smacked in the face. You can also see here that I did a lot of close combat, but it didn't level it up, which seems to indicate that the experience required to level things up is exponential. I mean, I fired a single shot with the handgun and gained a fair chunk. Tell me it ain't bad, Doc. Okay, alright, now we got a knife. Now I have a blade. Ho, ho, ho. There's not really much you can do this early on in the game, which is Another sort of issue is that early on there doesn't seem to be much in the way of, you know, ways that you can gain power over the enemy or exploit strategy. It's the old XCOM grenade is there to be the great equalizer in the early game when the player has weak units with hardly any capability. But in this game it can feel a little bit like a DPS race a lot of the time, which you may or may not win just based purely on chance. Okay, combat begins. I don't have enough AP to close the distance, so I think that trying to shank these guys is going to be not so easy.
Got it.
Oh, I hit him! Let's let them run towards me. Oh, did he just hide by the barrel? That's not very bright. That man is not in for a bright, glorious future. This is where 8 AP really helps. Oh, ho, ho, lucky me. Wow. Someone get the blessed dice out. I guess it's an improvement after what happened last time. Deep cut. Nice moves, kid. Remind me to never get on the wrong side of you. Alright, so we've seen this before, but anyway, this is the weapons dealer. Our buddy, or pal, the weapons dealer. Victory is mine. Let's hope that I don't miss out on any more stuff. Alright, sweet, sweet grenade.
28th of September 2016. Agent John Street. Report ID.
The story sections in this are actually really good. So if you haven't watched the first impressions video, you should,
The payoff.
to see these cutscenes.
Cuda. An organization Grunt revealed under duress that it's an abbreviation of Barracuda.
Kuda Matata. It means more guns. Wow, look at that. I nearly leveled up firearms. Okay, so now we have the shop. And we finally have grenades. Which is sort of the only early game kind of strategic thing that you have to help you kind of turn the tide. But the thing is, the thing in XCOM was grenades were extremely limited. You only had one per character, but they hit perfectly and were incredibly reliable. So they allowed a good player to win an early game situation with the power of their mind. But in this game, grenades actually have a chance to hit and just go everywhere, which means that they're no more a reliable way to get yourself out of a bad situation than any other weapon. And that's a little bit unfortunate because I do like the balance of grenades being something that, you know, can be used perfectly or near perfectly, you know, and your strength stat just determining how far you can throw them, not whether you can throw them accurately or not. And that they're, you know, an expensive and precious get out of jail free card. Those of you who have watched my series on XCOM will hear me refer to get out of jail free cards, which is this concept that you can have items that you use when you're in big trouble and problems are closing in, but they get you out of jail, as it were. Alright, let's go and get our Russian friend. I can offer you 3 centuries by way of compensation for inconvenience. They're distracted, but what does distracted do? Tell me. That's what I want to know. I can tactically reposition 1 square forward. Honestly, he's probably in the best position where he was. Start with the gun until they close in. Oh, what a shot! Oh, wow. I seem to be blessed right now. After all those misses in the first mission, and all the limp-wristed stabbing that happened there, now all of a sudden I pull out the handgun, which I'm not even that proficient with. I'm just using it to do something while the enemy closes in, before I pull out my knife for stabby stabby happy time. And it's working out very nicely. I could just move in now and get to shanking, but who cares? This might be an opportunity to get some EXPs. Ah, no, he's closed in. The long blade penetrates the shield. Yes, I know it's the slow blade. Don't write me in the comments. Oh! Wow, I just cut that guy. Oh, it's a level 2 medkit.
For country.
For country!
For justice.
For home
For a better
union!
tomorrow.
For
Czechoslovakia.
space!
All I had to do was put a gun in my hand.
Okay.
Assure me I was fighting for big things.
These are really good, by the way, and you should watch them, but we did these 3 in my original first impressions video. So we're going to skip these ones as well for the sake of propelling us forward. And I am nearly level 2, which is also good. Okay. Now, one thing that I've learned in between the first impressions video and now is that weapons sell for full price irrespective of their state. So you're okay to wear a weapon down and then just throw it for a fresh one, sell it for a fresh one if you get a replacement of the same type. Which, I guess that's probably going to be an early game consideration more than anything else. Also, I think the other handgun is slightly more accurate. but it does less damage. It's a little bit less damaging for it's a little less damaging for a an extra 5% accuracy. So you might be better off actually running one of these. Shame grenades don't count as... Grenades or medkits don't count as utility items. You actually have to equip them. Let's put some grenades in this guy's inventory. Okay, I don't think there's much else left to do at this time. I was, this is an interesting thing, but I was looking at this book, Buy for 8% and Sell for 8%, and I was trying to work out in my mind how much money I would need to trade back and forth for that to be valuable, for that to have paid for itself. And the answer, or the short answer is, if you imagine it's 10%, then that would mean that you would need to transact 6,500 money. However, it would be half that, because it also increases sale price by 10%, as well as buy price, so you're effectively getting two bonuses. So what you would actually need to do is transact 6,500 selling and buying both count, if you want to see it that way. Or, you know, 3,250 buying and 3,250 selling. That's for 10%. Now, obviously, it's 8%, so you have to push that figure up a little bit, probably to around the 8,000 mark. I'm not doing the math in my head. We're already up to 433 money in the tutorial alone, so I think that this is something that will pay out pretty quickly. You are in a race with the gangs for supremacy. Now, here is a bit of the game where so you at the start you're shown 3 districts straight away. One that's Mafia, one that's Survivalist, and one that's Church. Now, you don't know what these various enemies are going to be like, but the Survivalists are the worst, from what I can tell. The Church is the easiest, but these guys are in a more dangerous area, I think. Although it says level 1, I'm pretty sure the ones closest to the top left-hand corner are the easiest. And the Mafia is in the middle ground. But early game missions are going to be quite tricky because you don't... it comes back to what I was saying before, which is that you don't have a guarantee. Like, you don't have any get out of jail free cards for the early game. It's a DPS race that's based on RNG. So if I'm to save here, let's say episode 1 mid save, although we're kind of actually sort of approaching the end, but I have to do a mission. There's really not much I can buy to improve my guys. I'm going in as is, and there's very little I can do about that. Okay, stop bugging me. So that's fine. Let me just lock that sector in. So we'll hit the Mafia here. And I don't know what I'm going to get. Or whether I'm going to be able to DPS them down in time. So it looks like there's only 4, which is reasonable. And there's one right there next to us.
Got it.
Looks like I can't hit that barrel either. So the rest of them are just going to run at me now. So this is what I mean by the grenade here. You can see I've only got a 42% chance of landing it. So it's not really the get out of jail free card that you would hope for. Which means that you're just going to be here trading shots.
Doing it.
Until someone gets hit. Although I'd probably be better off closing in with my other character and going melee on this guy's ass. Because he's got a gun out. Kung Fu knifing. I only did 3 damage to him there. Sad times. I got more chance of hitting her than I have the guy that's right there on the other side of the rock. Oh, nice shot. Oh. I might as well use all my AP on the best attack. Yeah, so these guys are they're just closing in on me. And it's become a DPS race between me and 3 guys. Soon to be 4. What strategically can I do about that? It seems very little. I have the old flame grenade here. But interestingly, I can't actually throw it at the ground. I have to throw it at an actual enemy. Which means that me trying to throw it here to get these 2, but not get my own guy, is also not something I can do. And I can't rearrange the turn order. I can't ever pull him out of combat, because as soon as it's their go, they'll just close straight back into combat. So I can't use the grenade to actually bail out my guy. Okay, well, we managed to set that guy on fire. We did actually miss there, but we missed in a reasonable way. Nice. I have gained a level! Oh man, that guy is burning to death. You see, if I could have properly directed that grenade, I could have made it a lot more useful to keeping me alive. Oh.
Da, doing it.
Okay, the next thing I need to do is change my gear to a medkit. Now, interestingly, medkits only require 2 AP to use. So you can actually tank quite a lot, but every time you use one, your max HP drops. So you can't do it forever. This guy is burning to death. %60 chance to be interrupted. So yeah, this with a melee character, sorry, with a shooting character, it's because the weapon ranges are not that long. It's almost impossible to keep your distance enough to actually do much melee. Oof. And he's down. And she's down. She bled to death. And he got interrupted. Sweet. This is going my way right now. Oh, that's not so good. Medkit in hand, like finger on glove or something. Something Confucius said, I'm sure. Deep strike. So it'd be nice to see what these status effects do. This guy's been crippled partially here. But once again, it's hard to see what entirely is going on with him. Oof! Wow, they just landed every hit there. I guess we're just munching medkits. Whoa, deep strike. This guy's going to become my medic at this rate, the way he's practicing his medkit. Oh, poked in the face. But you can see how this has just been a little bit of a DPS race. It's become a little bit of a DPS race. Oh, what a shot!
Got it.
If your strategy is, melee the enemy down.
Got it.
Okay, he left. If your strategy is to just melee the guy down without really any concern for strategy, then there is a little bit of an issue with player tools. This is where I think the XCOM game, the modern remake of the XCOM game, is ingenious with its perfect chance to hit grenade. Innately, the grenade is not super powerful. It only does 3 damage. On the hardest difficulty, all the enemies have got 4 HP, so you're not going to kill anybody with it. But what you do is you destroy their cover and you guarantee the damage. A fixed, guaranteed amount of damage that you can rely on. You get 1 use, and you don't want to waste it. But it gives you some tactical options. It allows you to, for example, at the start of this battle, there was a guy stood next to a barrel. Now, in XCOM, I could have weighed the decision tactically in my mind. I could have weighed the decision to use one of my grenades right at that moment just to nail that guy to the wall, because the grenade would set off the barrel, so he would take damage from the grenade, he'd take damage from the barrel, the guy would be immolated. That would be 1 piece off the board straight away. And I could weigh up the benefits and costs of using one of my precious grenades for that purpose at the offset. But you can't say the same in this game, because you can't rely on that grenade actually landing. Time to get stuck in for an interrogation. Okay, so this is the press for intel thing. Okay. Job done. Hey, I got it. Oh, a shotgun. And a hammer. Sweet. Upgrades for everybody. Mission complete. Got a shotgun. Got a shotgun. I don't know how much better the hammer is than the knife. Well, every attack costs 4 AP, but that's not a big deal for me because I've got 8 AP to use. Seems a nice way to get the job done. 8.8 damage versus 6.0. 15% bleed effect. Concussion effect, 15%. They both got special effects. Got some shotgun shells. Now, does the shotgun have good range? 15 damage, 7 meters, 30-degree arc. So it's got even worse range than the handgun. 120% accuracy though. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing... I guess my one objection to the game so far is that there's nothing to stop the enemy from just running up to you and tying you up in melee. There's no zone of control. You can't put a melee character in front of a ranged character to create a zone of control to prevent enemies from just running around him to get to your ranged guy. Which is going to make a weapon like this incredibly difficult to use. Because it's also incredibly short-ranged. 7 meters is nothing. 7 tiles. I mean, the enemy is in your face. In seven hexes. Still, it's brutally powerful. So, and that extra accuracy is definitely pretty nice. So who knows? Maybe we'll get something done with it. Those 4 shotgun shells were actually all the shells. I don't see any ammo in the store. Sad times. The incendiary grenades are actually quite good. Okay, we took some light damage here. And we leveled up. Let's finish off with our level up. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this, to really doing this playthrough. But there are some obvious sort of issues, in my opinion. But nothing that really will hold back my enjoyment of the game. It's I know that the developer is working on their new game. I kind of wish they'd go back and do an expansion pack for this, because much like Phoenix Point, I think that there's an uncut gem here that could be polished into a fine piece of software. But hey, anyway, that's me. Right, 1 core stat to spend. So I'm going to carry on pumping my fleetness. I believe the maximum stats in this game is 15. So it doesn't take long to max out your fleetness. Also, you can get an extra AP by doing a short-range deployment. Deploy close to the enemy and gain +1 initiative and +1 AP for the battle. I actually forgot to do this on the last mission. Which can get a very fast character up to 9. Next time we have to, because you can have up to 3 characters. These spots indicate that potentially there's an ally there. And finding a 3rd character is actually very important. So that is what we should do next, is try and find the ally. Unfortunately, there's no way to actually narrow down where the ally is. You just have to pick one of these and go for it. But we probably go for this church sector, because we know that the church is here, and that's another, mission that we need to do to just carry on leveling up and earning money and earning prizes and all that good stuff. It may or may not be worth resting our guys as well. Unfortunately, this guy does not rest. He doesn't gain much health back when he rests. Yeah, max HP is dropped. And obviously not running your characters into the ground is going to result in injuries eventually, which is going to lead to disaster. Or potentially lead to disaster, but we'll just have to see how it goes. But anyway, that's it for now. I hope you guys are as ready for this campaign as I am, because I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be good fun. And I will see you guys next time.